So in a previous YouTube video, which you'll find linked below, I talk about walking with a hunter, an expert of the forest, in the forest, that if you don't know, you want to see a deer, and you don't know anything about the forest, but you want to see a deer. You're like an urban girl. Like, I mostly grew up in an urban environment. And you go into the forest and you're like, I really want to see a deer. There's a chance you'll see a deer, but there's also a really big chance that you won't. And if you walk in there with the hunter who knows everything, they can pinpoint where the Spuren, what's the English word? The tracks here. Otherwise I would have asked you to leave a comment below. But the tracks of animals, and also their pattern, their rhythm, everything. And then they can go take you to wherever you got to be and tell you how to sit still, and you can wait for the deer, and chances are really, really high you're going to see the deer. Now, this whole example or metaphor, if you will, came up because in that previous video I talked about manifestation and how very often we say, I want this and I want that, but we don't actually we haven't actually taken the time to educate ourselves in how to get it. And this is all relating to this belief that a lot of self-help, self-development sells that, hey, you can manifest everything, you just gotta think it, you gotta say your daily mantra and you can get it, when actually, when it comes down to it, it's like saying, oh, I wanna win the lottery. And maybe some people out there can do it, but essentially if you want a lot of money, or you wanna see a deer in the forest, or you wanna feel expansive, ecstatic oneness with the cosmos, and like the whole mystery of everything makes sense and the light of it is moving through you, for the most part, you got to put in a lot of hard work to do that. Now, before I expand on the curious, the interesting, and fascinating of this metaphor that I really want to share with you, that I think will help you a lot, or at least pique your interest and get your thoughts and inspiration flowing, if you're new here, this is the Magic is Key YouTube channel, and my name is Pipalik. And if you love this content, make sure to subscribe, like, leave a comment, and hit the little bell button to make sure you get notified when we post something new. Now let's go back to the hunter in the forest. Now something, and this is actually thanks to my sister Serafina, who is my biological sister and also the co-creator of Magic is Key. She's here with me right now, and she reflected to me what you're saying with this metaphor is that getting direct transmission from you is one of the best ways to learn how to go about making something happen in your life. And I have a very powerful example from my own life. Now, if you in any way get triggered about a wonderful, happy birth story, which may very well be the chance and would have maybe been me before the second birth of mine, then go watch something else. But if that kind of story is okay for you, I'll keep it really short. It's just to give you an example from my own life, then stay right here. So, my first birth was extremely painful, and I went to hospital. I got the PDA shot, the epidural, I think it's called, the epidural, I know it's called, and I loved it and had a wonderful birth experience, but also one that was so painful that when I was pregnant the second time, I was freaked out and freaking terrified and not ready for it. And somehow, probably also through my amazing sister Serafina, I got into the idea of pain-free birth. I was checking on things on Instagram, I took a course, but it still was like a little, yeah, you know, it's good to study all this and prepare for the birth, and it's the best I can do is learn how to breathe through contractions, or I like to call them waves or expansions, but I didn't quite believe it yet. And then my sister found this woman here, Kerstin, Wessel, and you can look up her work. She trains in hypnobirthing and all that. We'll link her website below, because if you want this kind of transmission, then she's freaking fantastic. So Kerstin Wessel herself had a pain-free birth without any intervention, and she's also a trainer. and she can train physically, but also in hypnobirthing. And so she started coming. And she would train me physically, but we also did rituals, we did hypnobirthing, and it was the presence of her, really. We would talk a lot during our sessions as well. And just hearing with someone in the room with me, you know, or on a call with me directly, that pain-free birth is possible, changed everything in a way that no course, no reading about it, no Instagram video of some woman I've never met could have done. And it was this transmission that made me feel like maybe this is something within my possibility, because I identified with her too. You know, she's probably around my age, like we have a lot of similarities, and I thought, hey, maybe I can actually experience this as well. And then that's what I had, a pain-free birth. And I really feel when it comes down to it that the transmission, the direct transmission, was key to making that happen. And in the same way, you can go into the forest with a book, or you can take a course about reading tracks, but going with someone who knows the forest, who you can talk to, who you have a lot in common with, just on the basis of your shared interest, and desire and passion. You know, I want to see a deer in the forest. You're going to learn a lot faster how to think it is possible, how to feel and know it is possible for you to find a deer on your own in the forest and see it and enjoy that wonder, and to also learn all the steps that will take you there. And the same goes for when we want something, we really, really want something in our lives, like, you know, build your own business, start your own company. That is so hard, and you're basically primed to fail statistically, right? When you start a company, how many companies actually make it? And so much goes into it. But when you start talking to people who have done it, who maybe they're in a similar age than you, they have a similar passion or an outlook in life, and we actually interviewed two of those people that deeply inspire us here. One is Zacco, which we'll also link below, and Marina Di Giovanni. They both built their own company, and in conversation with them, it just inspires us that we can do more, be of more service, go further, keep up the momentum, and cover all those factors that are needed to actually make such a big undertaking like a company, a birth, or anything big you want to bring into your life happen. So transmission is vital. And in the past, it doesn't always have to be in person. You know, Marina, I've only ever met online, and, you know, she's wonderful. I love having online friends. This is also great. And if you think maybe you like my voice, maybe you feel connected to what I'm saying right now, and if that's the case, if this is resonating with you, I've got great news, because at Magic is Key, we have a membership that offers just that, transmission and spiritual practices. For example, if you want to feel more inner peace, or you want to know what you truly desire in life. That's such a big question. What we desire is not always, on the surface level, is not always what we truly want. And if we go after we want on a surface level, then we're bound to fail. And there's also where our interviews with Zacco and Marina come in. They both went for something that wasn't in full alignment and ended up feeling almost burnt out. And they'll explain in their wonderful interviews how they did a 180 and turned that experience into their favor and really went with their true desire. We have a whole course on making sure you don't have to burn out when you follow your desire, that you know what you truly desire. And another one where you get to know your true essence. It's called Journey to Your Essence, and so much more. So if this all sounds fantastic, then check out our website, magiciskey.com, or sign up to our newsletter. And if you love this content, remember to subscribe, like, leave us a comment, hit the bell button below to get notified, and I'll see you in the next video. So here's a quick PS, thanks to Serafina pointing this out, that I said the direct transmission, in-person transmission is always more powerful, and that the online course did not give the same thing for me when I was figuring out and doing the work to experience birth as pain-free. And that being said, while I do find it as true, when you are with someone in person, there's a lot more sometimes that can happen. And I say sometimes intentionally because I've failed to remember in the moment where we were recording this that so much of the previous work that went into my journey all started online, and that a lot of the people I learned from and studied with, it was online courses, it was online private sessions, and I do find this an incredibly powerful medium. And also, since a lot of the things I desire to study and desire to practice in my life wasn't in my immediate vicinity, and I didn't get lucky like this time, like where my sister said, hey, I know someone, and I called her and she was available. That doesn't always happen. And that might be in your life. Like if you're interested in magic, then we don't always find the teachers that we really resonate with in our immediate vicinity. My first formal teacher in magic, Fiogade Parma, was in Australia, and I'd read so many books on magic and witchcraft, and nothing resonated with me until I read Fio's work, and online was the only option. It made all the difference, and I ended up taking courses for years that were only online, and I still passionately do. So if you don't have anyone in your immediate vicinity that you can see in person, that where the feeling is like, yes, 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 you're the one I can get the transmission from, then online is a fantastic option. So I hope that clears it up, and can't wait to see you in the next video.